I missed anything too much? Probably not. All right, so let's get right into these patch notes. This is the Adriana patch. Adriana, very desired character. We're going to see her numbers. Honestly, I'm kind of excited. I think her kit's pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to this. Adriana's numbers. Again, this is going to be all fresh. Yeah, what's up to Zona? I actually just finished the stream, but the patch notes just came out, so I'm getting right into it. Adriana, her passive, she basically, whenever she casts spells, a lot of her skills can light oil on the floor on fire. Like, a lot of her spells leave oil on the floor, and she can ignite that. Enemies inside of it will take damage over time, and they have their movement speed reduced. Damage increase per stack of burned. Burned is 4/7/10 with a bit of an AP ratio on it. Base damage every 0.5 seconds. Damage increases per stack up to 10 stacks, so damage increase per stack 20%, and the movement speed reduction is 20%. This is pretty relevant passive, and this is actually going to do a lot of damage if you can get a lot of stacks on your opponents. Adriana recovers a little bit of mana while a fire is lit. Honestly, that's kind of a lot of mana, so she's going to have not that many mana issues. That's probably a good thing. Flamethrower, her Q, which is probably her main source of damage. The range is 6 meters. Depth is 0.8. Duration is 2 seconds. Short cooldowns from the very first rank all the way to the end. Like, honestly, with high cooldown reduction, you can get this down to around 3 seconds. That's pretty good. It's pretty spammable for a main source of damage. And I'm assuming the cooldown will only start once you finish the duration. So it's not going to be activating it every 3 seconds. It's going to be activating it roughly every 5 with high CDR. Kind of expensive on the mana, but you've got this passive sort of accounting for that. And it deals... Hold on. So the scaling per level is on the ratio. It's not on a base damage amount, which is actually really interesting. I'm not sure if there's been another skill so far that's done something like this. Nothing is really coming to mind, but that's really interesting. Maximum of 9 hits. That's really interesting. It also means that you can't just like skill it up really early and expect it to do a ton of damage without items. Her W, she spills oil on the ground in the targeted location. The oil slick remains for a certain time. Adriana can ignite the oil slick with a skill to start a fire for 5 seconds. Enemies inside the oil slick have their movement reduced, and they cannot use movement skills. The range is pretty long. So it works kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever played League of Legends, most people have. From what I remember from the skill preview, it works kind of like Rumble ult. You can select the start point and the direction it's going to fire down in. It doesn't have to start from you. So you can put this from a pretty, 12 meters, from a pretty long distance away. You can put oil down remotely. No, it doesn't seem to do any damage on its own. It just is going to be like the ability to put damage on it if you can ignite it. And it also just works to stop you from using movement skills. Honestly, a 50% slow is pretty significant too. So don't sneeze at that necessarily. It could be pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of like that, yeah. Fire Escape E, good name by the way. Yo, Aesop, you're getting a promotion for that one. Fire Escape, her E, she dashes in a direction, she leaves some fire behind her. Does it say how much the fire does? Or oh no, it just leaves heat, like more. It leaves oil behind her that is on fire. Got it. So it's just more of the passive stuff. And her ult, Cocktail Party, great name. Oh my gosh, dude, you're getting pretty good at this stuff. She throws a Molotov cocktail at the targeted location. It explodes, dealing damage, knocking back enemies. After the explosion, it leaves fire, oil, and fire behind, and she can throw 3 of them. The range is 12 meters. The range radius is 1.5. Also, really long range. Her E probably ignites her W. Yes, it does. Yeah, her E will ignite any of her oil slicks that she leaves behind. So will her Q. So yeah. This character is kind of hard to evaluate on paper. You don't see a lot of numbers, like you don't see a lot of damage numbers. The only thing that has like damage listed on it is the Q and the R, and even the Q is just based on scaling. So it's weird. She just doesn't. I don't know how to evaluate this. She has very little just flat damage on level ups in her kit. She's very item dependent from what I can tell to put out damage. Yeah, the burn stacks is on there too, but that's all in the scaling and leveling. That is not like, it's not like early leveling. You can't really put like, you can't slam 3 points into it, you know, level 1, 2, or sorry, 1, 3, and 5 like you could Q, W, or E. I still think she's going to be good. Yes, I just think she's going to be hard to evaluate just on paper. It's going to be interesting seeing how many of these stacks you can put on people and how much this damage increase is going to matter. I think she will be good. You just need to see her in game to really get a feel for it. It's going to be hard to evaluate just looking at it, so I'm not going to dwell too much on it. Balance. Kind of interested in seeing where this is going to go. No spoilers, by the way. Slightly reduced HP recovery of all characters for late game. Interesting. The marking value of HP regen is per 0.5. Okay, sounds good. I did know that. Most changes are directly related to our public high-ranking stats. Top 1,000 per mode. Yep. I don't know if that's like. I mean, NA has like 1,000 players. I don't know if I would call it top 1,000 high ranking, but sure. And the stats are a little flawed at the moment, so yeah, I don't know about this, but sure, you know, better to go on this than go on nothing. Even top 100 doesn't feel that high. Boy, do I agree with you. Shukai and Nadine had exceptionally high numbers. No, I mean, I knew that. Requiring additional adjustment. I'm already crying, but we'll see. Aya. Reducing the early game attack power of the pistol to limit early game oppression, but strengthen it. But what? Strengthen it to complement its late game. Cool. So, I'm not really seeing where they nerf the early game power. Maybe there's like a nerf. Let me see. Just so I have this in. Okay. So, in context, Elegance is getting a 5 damage nerf, and Electron Blaster is getting a 5 damage nerf. That's fine. I'm not crying over these. If she's getting scaling to make up for it, that's great, because her early game was already strong, and her late game kind of sucked. So I'm totally okay with this. As someone who plays a lot of Aya, especially Pistol Aya, yeah, I think this is kind of just a buff. So I'm not crying. This seems good to me. Kiara got an HP regen nerf. I mean, everyone's getting the HP regen nerf, so don't read too much into it. Fiora is dealing less damage in duo and squad. Let's go. This is a good change. Like, I don't think you guys really realize this. A lot of people don't realize Fiora is actually still ridiculously good in duo and squad. I mean, Jinsel, who needs no introduction at this point, only plays Fiora, and he's smashing lobbies in squad. Yes, this is fine. I'm okay with this change. I'm gonna stop even bringing up these HP regen nerfs because everyone's getting them. Art, she is taking slightly less of the slightly more damage that she was taking in squad. So recently, Heart's been taking more damage than she normally would have. So now that's being taken down a bit. I'm fine with this. Hedgen, attack power per level increased, which is probably a good thing. Hyun, oh please God, nerf Hyun. We're gonna tune down some of Hyun's mobility, thank God. And late game defense, also Mysok will reward more aggressive play. Not sure how I like that, but we'll see when we see the Mysok change. He's getting lower movement speed, thank God. He had way too much movement speed. Slightly lower defense per level, and slightly, okay, again, more lower regen per level. Or just, yeah, per level. Isol, he's also being changed because of the pistol nerfs. He's getting more attack power per level, which is a good thing. He is doing less damage in squad, which is probably also a good thing because he's actually kind of good in squad. His ease cooldown is being reduced at all ranks by a flat 2, which is good. And his R is going to be lasting about 5 seconds longer. I think these are good changes. What's up, Ashby still? How you doing? I think all these changes are good. I honestly can't complain about any of these. ISIL is actually good in squad, so I don't mind this at all. Jackie. Jackie is the character that frequently appears most... Wait, no. Jackie is the character that appears most frequently in top ranks. The strongest weapons are completely different depending on the mode, so we focused more on adjusting the weapons that Jackie takes advantage of. Sounds good to me. She is dealing... No. She is taking more damage in duo. I'm fine with this. Her E cooldown buff is getting slightly reverted. So I think it wasn't it a 2-second buff previously? So it's getting 1 second tacked back onto it. Good. That buff made no sense and didn't need to happen, so I'm very thankful for this. And the HP regen thing. I'm curious about the weapons. I'm going to skip ahead to the weapons to see what they were talking about in context. Oh yeah, and the Mysock change. Mysock gained 5 attack power and lost some HP regen. It's probably for the better. Gigantic Axe. Thank God. This is... We did it, boys! This is one of my most requested changes of all time, was nerfing Gigantic Axe. And it got taken down from 150 to 130. I said that wasn't enough, and it's down to 110. So, thank God we don't have to talk about Gigantic Axe anymore. Because it was a blue weapon. I don't know if you guys knew this. This was a blue weapon that had 150 attack power. So thank fucking God this is this is nerfed. Still, 110 on a blue is pretty good, but it's no longer as broken as it was before. Bmax is down to 145. I'm fine with that, I guess. I think Bmax was still pretty good even at 150, so I'm not crying over this. Hirashu also getting a nerf on the cooldown reduction, but a buff in the attack power, which is, I think, the good way to go. Yes, Aesop, we will never have to bug you about Gigantic Axe again. You did good. Thank you. Mount Slicer with the fat nerf. Thank fucking God. Oh, it's 20% CDR was absurd before, and 61 attack power, or sorry, skill amp was the highest flat amount on any weapon in the game. So this has been taken down to 55, which I'm fairly sure is still the highest skill amp, like flat skill amp on any weapon in the game. Still really, really strong, but the 20% has been taken down to 10%, and that's a significant nerf. I'm very, very happy with these nerfs. Thank you, Nimble Neuron. Excalibur is getting less HP regen, which is probably for the better. And yeah, cool. Good changes. Good Jackie nerfs. I'm on board with these. The only thing that's a little concerning to me is that Dual Swords was not touched, which to me was probably one of the biggest issues with Jackie. So we're just kind of back to Dual Swords being still the best. We'll see. I'm already fairly certain Nadine's going to get gutted this patch, so I'm going to have to find a new character after this, but we'll see. Lee Dylin. Dylin's win rate in high tiers is still a bit lower than average, but her pick rate is still super high. Previously, she had a pick rate of over 10%, that's true. So while still high, we're going to keep an eye on the trend. Basically, that's a very long-winded way of saying a lot of the high LP players are whining about Lee Dylin, but yet the numbers don't reflect us having to nerf her, so we're going to not do anything. Magnus. He is dealing less damage in duo mode, which breaks my heart, but that's probably okay. And that's it, it's the only change. Nadine. Nah. Alright, that's probably not that bad. Damage dealt in duo mode is decreased. Damage dealt in squad mode is further decreased. This is actually kind of a heartbreaking change. 50% down to 30% is a pretty big nerf. This combined with these is pretty big, and I'm sure there's crossbow nerfs coming too. Golden Ghost got a pretty big nerf. Sniper crossbow got a pretty big nerf. Yeah. I don't know, man. Is Nadine gonna survive this? Probably. Is Nadine gonna be as good as she was? Definitely not. I don't know how I feel about playing Nadine going forward. She'll probably be fine though. I don't think these really hurt her too much. Losing the 5 extra normal on the Golden Ghost is gonna hurt though, but we'll see. I'm still gonna play her a bunch. Cicella, no changes. Shukai. High rarity food provided a lot of stacks of Juggernaut Chef. Even during the mid-game, Shukai's power was fluctuating too much depending on his use of high rarity food. HP regen per level decreased. Didn't mean to mention that. Damage dealt in squads is further decreased, thank God. Is there a link to it? Thank you, Alt. Number of stacks of Juggernaut Chef received when cooking food has been... Wow. That's it. Okay, that's actually kind of significant nerf. Damn. So the quality of the food no longer matters when cooking with Shukai. But keep in mind... Yeah, commands are kind of a pain in the ass. Keep in mind that if you're crafting an epic tier food, you're still going to be crafting... You're going to get stacks for boom, the intermediate pieces, boom, more intermediate pieces, and boom, the final piece. So yeah, you're not getting these numbers exactly, but you're going to get this potentially 3 or 4 times in a row for making an epic piece. Like, consider if you're making fish and chips, you still have to make the heated oil, which I think counts because it has the cooking animation. You get two more stacks for making each of the rares, and then you're going to get 1 more final stack for making the epic, which means you're going to get 4 stacks total, which is still pretty good. It's just not nearly as much as it was before. Yuki, his Q got a nerf, which is probably for the better. And Zahir, we're going to trying to reduce a bit of his early game strengths, which I'm always down for. His ult is going to be doing less damage in early ranks, and his passive is doing less damage in early ranks, which is, again, I'm fine with all of these changes. I think Zahir's early game was a bit too oppressive, so I'm totally okay with this. We've kind of already covered the pistol changes. These are not necessarily bad changes because they're coupled with good scaling changes. The guitars, King V is losing 4% spell amp, which is probably fine. Ooh, that hurts me. I actually played a regen heart build, and this hurts a lot. Ah, fuck me. I hope I didn't inflate the numbers too much. I think it's still gonna be good, but that really hurts. Yeah, that's really bad news for Heart. And Teen Spirit got another nerf. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think Heart was particularly that good this patch. I think the patch started with a lot of people playing Heart, but then people kind of moved away from it because the nerfs from the last patch were pretty harmful. I don't think people are playing Heart that much right now. I don't think she needed these nerfs. I think these numbers are mainly going off of old data. I really don't think she needed this. I don't know. Let me know if you guys think I'm wrong, but I don't think this was needed. We've already covered the crossbow nerfs. These are pretty significant nerfs. Tonfa, I didn't mention, tactical Tonfa got a 5 attack power increase. Probably for the better. Tactical Tonfa is rather underwhelming when compared to the other Tonfas. We already covered the axe changes. We already covered the dagger change and the two-handed sword change. Smiting Dragon loses some skill amp. I'm totally okay with that. And Fuma Shuriken does a little bit more damage because honestly, Fuma Shuriken kind of fucking sucked before. If I'm being honest with you. So, hey, these are all good changes. The normal attack damage, the minus normal attack damage items also got nerfed, so the 5% on Golden Ghost isn't that bad. Oh, I haven't gotten to that yet. Okay, we'll see. So intermediate pieces, Turtle Dobok got reduced in CDR. Dragon Dobok, ooh, the final piece got -5 CDR, which is a pretty significant nerf. And I'm honestly not really that sure. Did Dobok need a nerf? Okay, if you had to make me like cover my eyes and guess which chess pieces are overrepresented and likely to get nerfed this patch, I would have probably said Amazoness, and I probably would have said Battlesuit. So it's interesting not seeing Amazoness here. Wow, that's I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Wow, they are really nerfing regen. They don't want regen to be a viable build anymore, which is probably good because every time regen's been too good, it's been completely obnoxious and unfun to play against. But man, they are really killing it off as a strategy. This is like probably the final nail in the coffin for regen. Ashton shaking and crying. I'm shaking and crying. I've been playing this shit out of a regen heart build lately in teams to a pretty decent success. So this is actually breaking my heart. But anyways, skipping too much ahead, bulletproof vest. The blue piece got a bit of a nerf, which is interesting because sheet metal armor didn't, but whatever. It's because it would have been too much HP compared to the final product. Battle suit is getting a further nerf across the board. Catch me not building battle suit anymore, honestly. This is harsh and kind of just too much. I think I'm just done building battle suit. There's no reason not to just build Amazoness at this point. If you need a normal damage reduction, I'd just pick a different chest. Go for like Rocker's Jacket or something. There's no reason to run battle suit anymore. Banneret got a nerf, probably okay. Banneret's pretty good, it's pretty slept on. Unkei has been playing a lot with Mount Slicer Jackie to much success. I don't think a Banneret nerf is really that bad of an idea right now. Dude, they're really nerfing extra normal, or sorry, normal attack damage reduction chest pieces and arm pieces. Like, wow, they really don't want the stat to exist anymore. I'm not complaining as someone who plays a lot of like AR and heart, so maybe this is gonna balance it out a little bit. Feather Boots got a buff, good. White Rhino's got a nerf, good. Okay, we're starting to see the gap widen further between these two pieces of skin because they were too similar before. EOD lost some HP regen, Jesus Christ, but it gained a lot of movement speed. EOD kind of doesn't suck anymore when it comes to movement speed, and it kind of sucked before. So EOD is no longer like the slowest boots in the game, but it lost some regen to compensate. Quiver. Ooh. Wait, what? Leather plus bamboo for 22% attack speed? Hold on. What? Laced quiver, new accessory, quiver plus feather duster, 10 attack power, 25% attack speed. Whoa! What? Yo, yeah, fuck it. Nadine's good. Like, fuck the nerfs, dude. Late friendship ended with Uchiwa. Friendship ended with every other. Oh my god, there's a fucking dude. Fuck Moonlight Pendant. This thing's nuts. Bamboo plus leather is so free. You can make this everywhere, dude. Oh my god. Wait, there's bamboo. There's bamboo in archery range. I can make this in archery range. Holy shit. This is so sick. And I get feather dusters all the fucking time and on dogs and wolves and shit. Whoa. Whoa. Guys, I'm losing it. I'm actually losing it. This is insane. There's been a lack of attack-based accessories outside of Moonlight Pendant forever. This is insane. This is actually insane. This is such a massive change to the game. I don't think you guys understand how big of a change to the game this is. 22% attack speed off of just leather and bamboo is huge. This thing, not hard to finish, movement speed and attack power additional. This is fucking nuts. I'm losing it. This is crazy. Oh my god. This is gonna change everything. Damn, dude. Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Acupuncture needle got buffed? Well, not really, you only get one, but still, like, seeing acupuncture go up to 800 is really funny to me. Like, this is the third highest healing item in the game now? What is going on? Yeah, I saw it's a different recipe. Like, I get that, but alcohol's not exactly contested. Sure, there's way more herbs on the map. Yeah, I agree. But like, I don't know, needle plus alcohol is not very difficult. And for my brothers and sisters who spawn in a hotel and go to school, which is a very common combination, you can make these things there. This is nuts. Zen Vitality, there's a new dude. Oh, Aesop, thank you. Please put more items in the game. I fucking love seeing new items. Seeing this little parentheses, new parentheses, it breathes life into my soul. Please, Keep adding more items to the game. Acupuncture needle plus herbal medicine. Wow, it crafts out of this thing. You get 2 of them and they're 850. Are you kidding me? This is crazy, dude. I'm losing it. I love this. I love this. This is awesome. Herbal medicine is a rather difficult craft. I agree. Sure. However, do you know who gets herbal medicine and acupuncture needles for free right now? There's a certain character, 2 of them, in fact, who want to go hospital and then pawn. I'm gonna give a high five, a virtual high five, to the first person who says either of these 2 characters. Bing! I have to give it virtually. High five. All right, so Alteris got it right. Isol is one of them. Aya is the other one. You can finish Elegance and NTW between Pond and Hospital. This is a big boost to Aya and Isol starts. You get a shitload of 850s. That's so much insane food. This is crazy, dude. I think it's kind of dumb. Like, too good. Like, you should probably tone these back down to like 600 or 650 and then tone this down to 700. Like, this should be where maybe acupuncture needles were before. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned because it's not going to be hard to make a bunch of these between Hospital Pond. But we'll see. You know, we'll see. Mocha bread. Aw, mocha bread. No. Mocha bread had its moment. It was the highest healing piece of food in the game, but it's now only giving you 700, but you get 2 of them. It's pretty good. It's in line with garlic ramen now. But man, we have a new fucking hot craft for food. This is crazy. I can't wait to try that out. Mastery changes. Defense mastery. Oh god, this is a lot of math. All right, give me a second to figure this out. Oh my god, I can't. I don't understand. Okay, so it is harder to level up your defense mastery. Hunt mastery. It is harder to level up your hunt mastery. Weapon mastery, it is easy. No, harder. No. Yes, harder, just barely, to level up your weapon mastery. So basically, defense mastery is significantly harder to level up your defense mastery. Hunt mastery is slightly harder to increase your hunt mastery, and weapon mastery is just barely harder to increase your weapon mastery. Max HP per health mastery is decreased. Ooh, shit. That's actually kind of significant. Like someone in chat just said, the Shukai, that kind of nerfs Shukai a little bit. Probably significantly. Honestly, I kind of relied on the health mastery as kind of a gimmick. When you're playing characters who have lower HP, you know, lower total HP, like squishier characters, you can kind of forego that. You don't have to necessarily build a bunch of HP items, but you can kind of give yourself an HP boost by crafting a bunch of really good food. It kind of counts as like giving yourself an extra Moto helm or something. It was a significant amount, but this is getting reduced, so how about that? Trap mastery per 40 of trap damage is decreased. Okay, so it's harder to level up trap mastery. This needed to happen. It was too easy to gain trap mastery previously. It'll be harder now. This is fine, because trap mastery was one of the things that was the easiest to cap out on really early, so whatever. Good change. I'm not complaining. New item icons for Fedorova, because that's not what a Fedorova looked like. Kelt, because it was the same as Devil's Marksman. Lace Quiver, which is a new item, and Zen Vitality, which is also a new item. The camera now moves to the destination when taking the hyperloop. Nice, good change. Change display of save plans to show more than 20 routes. Wait, what? Does this mean you can have 20 save plans? I don't actually know what that means. Can now spectate custom games even after death in solo or full team death in teams. Okay, so basically, like, even after you die, you can still spectate. Hang on, I gotta do something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. This feature, basically, it's after you die, you can spectate, like, your opponents, potentially. I think this is what this means. It's not yet a feature in normal games yet, though. I can't wait for it to be a feature in normal games. I really hope they implement this at some point. This implies that they're going to, but we'll see. Now displays item name in the casting bar. Okay, so you can see which item you're actually crafting. That's a good change. It's a great change. Skill names will now be displayed on the casting bar when using a channeling skill. Good change. Collecting will now be indicated. Good. Higher tier squad matches will now be more fragmented. Huh? I don't know what that means. I actually just have no idea what that means, but as someone who plays higher tier squad matches, I'm very curious how much I will be fragmented. Longer queues, fuck me, god damn it. Alright, well, that's fine. It kind of needed to happen because, like, I'll be honest, some of the matches we've been having lately, I feel like we're beating up on new players. The camera now moves to the destination when taking the Hyperloop. Wow, twice? Change display of save plans to show more. This is everything again. Okay, well, they accidentally pasted it in here twice. ASAP. You pasted it twice. I was like, damn, there's a lot of changes in this patch. It's crazy. I started reading it. It was just the same thing. Can you explain what the fragmented thing means? Just if you do know. If you don't, that's fine. But I was curious. Bug fixes improved. Problem with game lagging due to an uncaught memory leak. That can only be good. Enabling / disabling camera settings now saves properly. Save plans no longer display in the shared section even after disabling sharing. Okay, it's a good thing. Modified first tutorial, so quick craft only crafts target items. Cool. I'm very sad. Every patch for basically since they added team modes, I've been looking for them to say bug fixes, fixed teleport canceling, or whatever they want to call it, and it's still not fixed. We've known about this forever. Like, Nimble Neuron knows about it forever. It's the most intrusive bug to gameplay in the whole game, and it's still not fixed, so I'm really frustrated by that, but whatever. Good patch nonetheless. I do kind of like everything here. I'm very concerned about this, but I'm still hyped about it because any new item is fucking hyped to me. This is awesome. I hope it doesn't break the game too much. I wish, yeah, I'm with Big Joke. I wish there were dual swords nerfs. I don't really know how dual swords has managed to dodge nerfs. Like, if you said to me, hey, what's Jackie's most oppressive weapon type? I would have said dual swords. Like, it's just so obvious. I just slam dual swords as my answer because it is her best weapon type and it's just not getting nerfed. But everything else did. I kind of don't get it. But aside from that, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, Mount Slicer needed to get gutted. I agree with Big Joke on this one. I had been saying it was completely overstated for quite a long time. I'm glad it got nerfed. But that doesn't mean the dual swords should not, or it doesn't mean that dual swords should have dodged the nerf, because they did, and I don't know why. So I don't really get it, but we'll see. We'll see how this patch shakes out. Overall, I do like the patch though. Like, I don't mean to just be negative. I do think this is a really good patch. I think this addresses a lot of really relevant things, and it kind of shows that Nimble Neuron does have their finger on the pulse in a good way. If you think they're not paying attention, they clearly are, because they're hitting a lot of the characters that were considered more problematic. So yeah, can't really complain. Good nerfs, good changes. I like it a lot. So yeah, I guess that's it. I think that's going to be it for this this patch review. I think we kind of did everything and hit all the good points. So thank you everybody for watching. I know I just finished my stream about an hour ago, but here we are. I have to say goodnight again. So good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'll be putting this patch review up on YouTube. So if you didn't catch the entire thing, it'll be up on there. I'll also put it on the Eternal Return Reddit as well. So thank you everybody for coming. I always enjoy talking with you guys as we're doing this. So again, thank you all for being here. And yeah, have a great night.